Hey, I'm the MMA loser and I'm back with another video. Before I start the video, watch this video at 1.5 times the speed so that it saves some of your time and for a better experience, of course. Maybe two times, who knows. Now, as you can see it on the screen, I want to talk about Corey Sandhagen versus Rob Font, UFC Nashville. Corey Sandhagen became a wrestler today, and a lot of people have some, I would say, they didn't like it that Corey became a wrestler. But in my opinion, you got to win. If you got to win, you got to win. You got to win somehow. I mean, a lot of people are also comparing it to Habib, but the thing is, Habib used to finish his opponent. If not finish, you'd hurt them. You'd hurt them on the ground. When Habib fought against Barboza, and out after round two, you can see the look on Barboza's face where Barboza was really confused about what was happening, and you can see that he has pretty much given up, even though he was not finished in that fight. So that was the thing with Habib. He would hurt his opponent on the ground. Corey could not do that tonight. And also the thing is that this is the first time we see Corey wrestling. Maybe we in future when he keeps improving, he might become a better wrestler and he might become more dominant on the ground. That is, he might be able to use his ground and pound in a better way. He might be able to use his submissions on the ground in a better way. But to be honest, I'm not really that disappointed. Of course, we wanted to see a Corey Sandhagen knockout, probably a flying knee, probably a spinning elbow or something, or a good combination because Corey is a really talented striker. But having said that, Rob is also a really good striker. Rob is a really good boxer. And in this fight, Rob was landing good punches. He had more power than Corey, or maybe Corey was really focused on his wrestling. He just did not want to engage on the feet. And I don't blame him. When you are really getting those takedowns that easy, then definitely you're going to take him down. I mean, uh, and to be honest, I don't really I'm not really that disappointed. A lot of people seem to not like it, but it is what it is. Now, will he get a title shot after this? I don't know, but he definitely deserves a title shot because out of everybody in the entire bantamweight division, he was the only man who was willing to fight against Umar Nurmagomedov. Uh, and whatever you might say about that, he at least had the confidence. He at least had the courage to step up against a young up and comer like Umar, who's a really well-rounded fighter in my opinion. And I don't know. I mean, also when Starling, the champion of the bantamweight division, he kind of also fights in the same way, like Corey does. So of course, I think Aljo has more finishes on the ground. But then again, Aljo also pretty much does the same thing. He takes his opponents down. And against Peter Yan, Aljo could not really do a lot of damage either. And that is how he wins his fight by becoming a human backpack. That is what he calls himself. Like if you have a problem with a human backpack, how come if you do not have a problem with a human backpack, then how come you have a problem with someone being, I don't know, a human body bag or something? I don't know, whatever you want to call that. That is what Corey did today. He was constantly on top of Rob Font. He was he took him down and he just held him on the ground. He did not really, I mean, he could not really land a lot of damage, but it is what it is. Because Corey Sandhagen is not a grappler, but yet he grappled. So I think that is, to be honest, I'm not really that disappointed. Maybe whatever happens, happens. Maybe, you know, he might get a title shot after this, depending on how Sean O'Malley does against Aljamain Sterling, which is probably next month or this towards the end of this month. So it is what it is, man. I don't mind. I would say it was a good performance by Corey Sandhagen. Of course, everybody expected a striking matchup between Corey and Rob Font, but ended up getting a dominant grappling performance by Corey Sandhagen. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, let's talk about the other fights. Jessica Andrade versus Tatiana Suarez. Tatiana Suarez completely shut down Jessica Andrade in the second round. She, I think, had a, what was it? Is it a Darce choke or was it a guillotine? I think it was a guillotine. Yes, it was probably a guillotine if I'm not wrong. And For a long time, I've heard about Tatiana Suarez, and she is, I think, the best wrestler in women's MMA right now. I think she is what I think she competed for the worlds, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know much, but I know that she's a really good wrestler, probably an NCAA champion or something like that. I'm not well aware of her, but I know that she's a really good wrestler. So, of course, it was a complete rest, grappler versus striker matchup. And when a grappler fights against a striker, most of the time the grappler is going to win. And especially if someone is a really really good wrestler, someone like Tatiana Suarez, who today got her black belt after defeating Jessica Andrade. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think, and also considering her ranking in the flyweight division, she might get a title shot right after this performance. I mean, Jessica Andrade is a former champ. Jessica Andrade lost what? She lost to Zhang Wei Li, and before that, she defeated Rose Namajunas by lifting her and slamming her on the head. So when you defeat her, when you submit someone like Jessica Andrade, you're definitely going to get a catapult, or you're going to get a quick road to the flyweight title. And I think she can defeat pretty much everybody in the flyweight division just because of her wrestling. I mean, in women's MMA, I've not seen a good wrestler in women's MMA. So, and we all know that wrestlers will always kind of have an upper hand when it comes to mixed martial arts, you like it or not. I mean, even Corey Sandhagen, who's not a wrestler, just wrestled his way to a win today. So imagine someone like, I don't know, someone who's a prolific grappler, or someone who's like all Joe would have done to Rob Font. He would have just taken Rob Font down and probably would have submitted him on the ground. And Corey is not even a grappler, yet he grappled. So I would say grappling kind of cancels people out. So I think Tatiana Suarez might get a title shot after this. Maybe one fight after this, but then again, I think what is Andrade's ranking? Let me just look at her ranking. Uh, okay, the flyweight. Okay, this is the flyweight ranking. Carla Esparza. Andrade was number 5. Tatiana Suarez is number 10. So Suarez will probably move up to 5 or 4. Amanda Lemos is going to fight Zhang Wei Li, and the winner of that fight, Carla Esparza, I think just had a baby or something. She's not going to fight. Rose is probably moving up to 125, and yeah, I think this makes kind of sense. I mean, Yan Xiaonan, I think I want to see her fight for a title because she's been on a crazy win streak. So maybe one more fight with maybe Tatiana Suarez versus Rose Namajunas, or maybe Tatiana Suarez versus the loser of Zhang Weili versus Amanda Lemos. That might make a really good fight as well. But I think even if she gets the direct title shot, I don't mind. The only thing I mind is I want to see Yan Xiaonan fight against Zhang Weili because she's been on a good win streak. But apart from that, I don't know, man. It's okay. Whoever gets a uh, title shot, it doesn't matter. And let's see what else do we can need to talk. Okay, Dustin Jacoby fought against Kennedy Nejichuku. Justin Jacoby knocked him out in what, round 1 minute 22 seconds. I think it was a right hand. Yeah, there's nothing much to talk about in fights like this where it just ended in the very first round, where the same thing happened with Diego Lopez. Now, this fight, I was really high on Diego Lopez, and rightfully so. In his past fight, he made his debut against Movsar Evloev, who is on a 25 or 26 or maybe 27 fight win streak right now. So to make your debut against someone like Evloev, who's been on a crazy win streak, and take him to the decision, and not just take him to a decision, dominating him on the ground, landing really good shots, and pretty much submitting him, coming really close to submission. Diego Lopez became a star that night. I think he was the biggest star of that night, and that was a 5 days short notice fight. So he showed up. If you can fight in 5 days, if you can get ready for a fight in 5 days against a top contender like Evloev, then your ceiling is really, then probably the sky is your limit. And he is really good. I think he's one of those people who make grappling really entertaining, who is really good with his jiu-jitsu and always goes for the submission. That is what he did against Gavin Tucker. I think Tucker tried to take him down. Then right when Tucker tried to take him down, he just jumped for a flying arm triangle, and I think he snapped Tucker's hand or something, I believe, and that's when the referee stopped the fight. So yeah, Diego Lopez is a really star in the making, in my opinion. He's really good, and I think he will get ranked or probably not. He has already said he wants to fight in Brazil, and in this fight, he did not take any damage as per se. And yeah, good for him, man. Diego Lopez, I think he's a really good fighter, and he's what 28 years old, so he's pretty young as well. Tanner Boser versus Alexa Kamur. This was a weird fight. I would not call this a bad fight, but both these fighters were landing. I mean, Alexa Kamur has a really good chin, probably one of the best chin in UFC at this point of time, because Bozer was hitting him with shots after shots, elbows, knees, uh, straight shots, hooks, and he was eating them and yet moving forward till the end, till the last round, till the third round. He was still landing his own shots as well. Uh, Good for Tanner Bozer. He has a good style of fighting where he takes. In this fight, I think he was more of a better fighter in a. I would say he was mixing it up better than Alexa Kamur. So yeah, good fight for him. And I did not watch the rest of the fight card, like none of these fights. So yes, I mean, I would conclude this video by talking about how what is going to be next for Corey Sandhagen. Is he going to get a title shot? He should get a title shot because fought, he decided, or rather, he accepted a fight against someone like Umar, which most people did not accept a fight against Umar. So I think overall, the fight card, whatever fight I saw, I liked it. It was not an amazing fight card, but then again, it was just a fight night. This was not a pay per view. If this was a pay per view, it would have been really bored. It would have been kind of a B tire pay per view. But as a fight night, I think this was really good. The main event disappointed a few fans, but it is okay. I mean, when you are when you have to win somehow. And nothing against Corey Sandhagen. Tatiana Suarez, I think, gave a really good performance, and also Diego Lopez. Both of them, I think, were the biggest winners of this fight night. And yeah, that's it. I guess nothing else to talk about UFC Nashville. If you enjoyed the video, then drop a like, share this video, and please subscribe to my channel. I have very few subscribers. And write it in the comments what you thought about UFC Nashville. And yes, peace out.